out. Getting the better exit, and both of them spun simultaneously. Hanging to the camel straight, still going side by side as well. Side by side into the Curva Grande. Are they going to keep it side by side with Iceman? Yuri going for the dive bomb. Can he make it work? He's gone off a bit. And look at that. Oh, right here, right now. Otherwise, the undercut will not work. It's going to be very, very close. Iceman just gets ahead of Kyle there. Mata comes across the line, and he's your VSL Season 6 champion. Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to VSL Season 7. We are here at the Paul Ricard circuit for the French Grand Prix as we host round 6 of the championship. The drivers have had a week off to recharge their batteries, and will we see a different driver top the standings after tonight? We'll have to wait and see in about just under an hour's time. My name is Jess, and joining me as per usual, we've got Red Matt. How are you doing?
Bonjour. Hello. And I'm doing great. How are you, Jess?
I'm doing great, thanks. So many updates that we had to the game recently, which we'll talk about in a minute as well. And obviously, we didn't race last week. We raced at Canada a few weeks ago, and that provided some interesting entertainment. But we are here at France today, first using Formula 1 back in 1971, and it's been hosting the event various occasions during the 1970s and 1980s, and then it took a hiatus for a little bit, and then it returned on the calendar in 2018. It marked the 87th running of the French Grand Prix and the 15th to be held at the Paul Ricard circuit. And then obviously in 2019 and 2020 there was pit lane changes, and obviously at F1 2021 it was quite a good race to behold, to be honest. But enough about the track, we'll talk about that in a minute. We'll talk about the drivers' standings. So Sam, also known as Flexi, is currently leading the way on 87. Panos in second on 84. We got Matto in third on 64. Carl fourth on 50. Ryan Berry fifth on 49. And we got Tony on 32. Akon on 31. Iceman on 30 with Hayden. J-Luke on 26. I forgot to mention Cliffy, he was on 40. Pete on 20. Vitinho on 18. Kieran on 15, Yuri on 13, Risky on in 16th on 11, Kev with 10, as well as Newgarden, as we got Lee and Mike, and the rest of them, they haven't scored high enough to be in the standings. Constructors' Championship, we got Williams just about hanging in there at the top of the timing sheet, well, top of the team standings anyway, 115 points, McLaren second, 107, third Ferrari 93, fourth Alfa Romeo 90 points, 5th Alpine on 81, Aston Martin SIP on 61, Haas 7th on 40, 8th Red Bull on 31, 9th Mercedes on 20, and 10th AlphaTauri on 2 points. Now we are about to get into qualifying. A few invalidations already, and it looks like it's a dry qualifying session for the time being.
Looks nice and dry. It's what you like in France. I know the wet round here is not very nice given some of these corners, but when you get the track right, it's actually a really nice circuit on this year's game. I didn't like it last year, but it's one of my favourite tracks on this year's game, believe it or not.
Yeah, it's a lot better than last year, I have to say. Fair play to Co-Masters for actually designing the track a lot better with the curbs on this year's game around France since the new update anyway as well. Interestingly, that Newgarden and Akon have gone for the medium compounder tyres at this moment in time, whereas everyone is on the soft. Don't forget they only have 3 soft tyres for the qualifying session before they go into the race. And we're seeing a few people just about to cross the line to finish off their lap. We've got Kyle in the Alfa Romeo about to cross the line, and he's going to finish his lap. One of the first people to set his lap. 129.9 puts him in pole position. And then we got his teammate Casper, who is filling in tonight for Hayden, who can't make it tonight, so he's one of the reserves. Good to see him up there in the top 2. I think a driver to watch out for. Now we got Pete with a 129.7. I think we should expect times to be around about 29s, 28s, do you think, Matt?
I just think so, yes. And yeah, sorry, I'm sort of riding on board with Flexi at the moment. He's on a quite good lap so far. Never mind, he's invalidated, I think.
No, but he hasn't. He hasn't invalidated. I I think he's struggling a little bit, or he might, because he's using not much ERS at the moment, but I think you can not get away without derating. You have to basically save a bit of ERS heading in towards that heavy braking zone in turn 5 to 6. He's going to get a bit of a tow from Pete as well. So he's using his ERS effectively, probably better than me, because I use all my ERS in hot lap for the whole lap. Maybe I shouldn't do after this. Past turn 8, heading towards turn 9 very nicely indeed. I wonder if that tow gave him a few tenths extra on his lap. That may have helped him a bit more. Don't forget, he is the championship leader, and McLaren is so close to Williams in the constructors, so any glimpses of working together as a team is crucial. Now you pass turn 11 and heading towards turn 12. There used to be turn marker boards on this track, which should help me know about the turns, but they deleted it on this game. Don't know why, but I guess it was a distraction for the drivers, so in a way I can see why. Heading past the pit entry and heading towards the final corner, you can see a Red Bull right in front of him as well. But let's see if he can beat his teammate. The time to beat at the moment is a 129.787 and is a 130.1. So I wanted that final sector. He lost a bit of time there, but these are all banker laps for the time being. So he's got a lot of time to find that yet, though.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the team standings. Is this like the 90s again? Williams, McLaren, Ferrari battling for the constructors. You know, I think we've gone back in time here at VSL, but that's not a bad thing. There's a risky mounts that Alpha Camber inside curb. I think it's just at the end of sector 3. And that's a really nasty curve. That I know that because I spinaled in the race. Luckily, it was in qualifying, not in the actual race. So.
Yeah, I think if you spin in qualifying and you don't get damage, it won't be too bad, because at least you got a few more laps. As long as you don't do it in the race or during your final lap, you should be absolutely fine. So I have the tendency to bin it in my final lap or invalidate or something like that. It's becoming quite common recently, but anyway, Risky will go out for his first lap as well. We got Kieran as one of the reserves as well. We also got a new reserve to the fold as well as Casper, Slenderman, another Matt. So we got quite a few Matts both in the driving seat and in the commentary box. It's going to be quite confusing, but I will call this Matt Slenderman just to be easier as he goes past turn 12. Currently sitting P5 for now, as he hasn't got much fuel in the car, so I wonder if he's going to go into the pits, which he is. I wonder if he had a bit of a spin but I'm sure he was happy with his lap. Anyway, Ahmed is going on his out lap, so is Mike as well in the Haas. And let's follow Risky. No, let's not follow Risky, as he's unfortunately invalidated.
Yeah, DNF. I think I've noticed another bug. Slenderman's just joined, but he shows Leclerc.
That is a bug that has been in the game for quite a while, and it's because it happened last week when I was watching a race, and I think there was one that was Giovinazzi, and there was one which was Leclerc as well. Yeah, it gives you the real life driver numbers for some reason, which is annoying for TAS, but luckily we don't use TAS here. It would be helpful for us, but annoying to set up in a way. But that is why I think that is something we should report really, but hey ho. So I think a few things to mention, of course, regarding some calendar changes in this VSL Championship. Obviously, for those of you that have been living under a rock, Imola got released into the game today in the latest 1.12 update, which was very nice. And Imola is going to be replacing Sochi, and I don't know how many people like Sochi. I like Sochi to racing, which I'm quite gutted, but as commentary, it's not many places for overtaking, so I completely understand. And we've also got another announcement that obviously Portimao was released into the game not so long ago either, and it replaces Singapore. So Imola and Portimao are in, and we have got Sochi and Singapore out of that, and I'm very excited, and I think a lot of people seem to be liking Imola on this year's game. First, I think it's been like 10 years or something since it's been on the F1 games, and it's just so lovely to drive, but these two tracks are not going to be there for a while, so we've got a long time to wait just yet. But that was just a bit of an update on what has been happening since obviously we last had a stream, because even though we had a break, the admin team have been busy getting the calendar sorted.
Yeah, but it's just a shame, Turkey's not on the game. It really is. It'll be an amazing track to drive, especially for league racing as well. That's an invalidation already for Risky. Even though it's an outlap, keep all 4 wheels on the tarmac, Risky, you cheeky man.
Yeah, because sometimes if you invalidate in the final corner, then you probably invalidate the next lap as well, which is, again, not ideal as well. So, you know, and with these drivers, they won't have a long time to practice for these 2 new tracks. So I hope they find some time in their schedule to get some laps into Imola and Portimao. I've seen a few people in VSL already set time trial laps already in Imola. Sweat, I haven't even set a lap time around Imola yet. I can't even get the car in a straight line around there. It's just tricky for me at the moment. I just keep invalidating. But anyway, we've got Acorn just past turn 8 now, onto a set of the medium compounder tyres. He heads through turn 8 as well. He's going to be going into 8th gear quite quickly as he goes on the power. He's doing well on his ERS as well, quite in the middle. We got Kyle, 129.665, who's currently setting the times of light in pole position. I wonder if Det's getting a bit slow on his lap as he starts sector 3. As we got Maverick, who has retired from the race.
Who's crossing to the barrier?
Oh, that must be turn 7. That must be turn 7 according to my mini-map. Or round about there anyway. And
yeah, it looks like he lost the rear.
He did, so it wasn't in the pit lane. But let's follow Jack, one of the only ones to set their laps on the mediums. And it's going to be a 1:31.3, so still more time to find, but I'm sure he's got some soft left. Risky's on a lap as well, and the McLaren's got to be careful for rejoining the track, my friend, because you don't want to impede other cars. But your order so far is Carl in first, closely followed by Pete, which is just under a tenth. Then we got Iceman in third, and Pete's teammate Flexi in fourth. And again, they keep giving the cheeky slipstream through turn 7 into turn 8.
Yeah, I was just looking at the start of the lap for Sam. It was into turn number 3. So we have some debris on the track, or is that just some leaves? No, that is
debris.
The white bull. That's the white bull, not the red bull. The white bull of New Garden, but there's debris on track. But yeah, Flex has at least lost 4 tenths on this lap, so expect him to go quicker on his next lap.
Yeah, that is one thing I forgot to mention actually about the new update that came on. Until I think it's about November 11th or something, November 15th. This livery from Red Bull that they debuted at the Turkish Grand Prix is going to be on the game, and you can't change it to the original, which is annoying if you prefer the original livery. But I kind of like it. It looks pretty cool. But you got to make the most of it because it's not going to be in the game for very long. But we would have hoped that we kind of wished to change livery because it would have been nice to just run out of the Japanese Grand Prix. But unfortunately, we can't do that. But it's in the game anyway. And it's a bit of a travesty that the McLaren Golf livery is not in the game. But we'll get that conversation another day. But it's nice to see the Turkish livery in the game for the Red Bull. Shame there's only one Red Bull driver. But we got to see it in the flesh anyway.
Oh, we can customise our cars on the Formula 1 game, but I can take it as presets, so I don't understand why we can't do it with the normal F1 cars as Risky takes the escape road.
Yeah, he's struggling a bit today, isn't he?
But I'm quite surprised by that you can't change the livery.
As we do have a yellow flag, that's probably Risky again slowing down.
Yeah, or at least if EA want to make some profit, ask for £2 or something if you want this livery or that livery.
Yeah, I think that probably would have been better instead of getting it for free. But I'm sure there would be people complaining on Twitter, as the F1 community is always complaining central, I have to say. But they have put a lot of effort into trying to fix stuff for the patch, but there has been more issues in the PC version of the game compared to us in PlayStation. PlayStation, we've hardly had much issues. I think we just had minor issues. So hopefully those are fixed. And I think in the low-speed corners, I think the handling has been changed just a little bit. I don't know to what extent, but there has been some speculation that 50% brake bias is the norm, the best way to go, but I don't have a clue. It might just be PC. On PS4, it might just be the normal 57, 56 brake bias, but we'll see anyway, as Kyle is about to go, just came out of the pit. Ahmed is going through turn 10 now, and wow, Casper, our new reserve, is definitely showing what he's made of at the moment. 129.399 could be on for pole position. Nobody in the 128s yet, but he's going to be tough to beat. He just beat his teammate by 0.3 of a second. But let's watch Ahmed, as he's the only one, apart from Mike, to not set a lap time, as he heads towards the final corner. The very long straight, which I get confused on what is the start-finish line. It's going to be a 130.615, which puts him in P11, just in that bubble. So at the moment, he gets 3 choice of tyres, but Casper, the early favourite.
But where is Matter? Matter has recently joined another league to try and get better at the game, and he's currently down in P9 at the moment, so it's not really ideal for his championship defence.
Nope, it's not.
No, not at all. But I'm riding on board with Kyle. I think he's hiding his true pace. But then again, you got Flexi, who has made a mistake on his current lap, so there's more time to find there. So it's still a lot to play for with 2 minutes left to go.
I think Carl has probably had a second, a click in him about the game. He started to struggle in the first few races, and then he was like, okay, but now I think he's finding his feet a little bit. Oh, Casper has retired. Is that... Oh, yeah, he's in the pits. So he thinks the 129.3 is enough then. But we've seen that in the past where people could just beat that lap time and then people can go down the order. I think we've seen that a few times in a few leagues I've commentated in as well. But again, he is reserve driver and I believe he wants to help his teammate. But I think maybe they could have used the McLaren strategy with the teammates giving the tyre. I wonder... it's not going to work this time as Pete is a little bit further back. We do have 1 minute left to go. I'm seeing who's about to cross the line to set their final lap. I believe it's a Williams first. Or it might be an Alpine. It's hard to tell with the colours, actually. It is Newgarden, who's about to go into turn 1. Luckily, they haven't changed the colours on the timings about the Red Bull, thank goodness, because otherwise we'll have too many whites, which we do not want to happen. As Tony has unfortunately invalidated. We got a AlphaTauri about to set his final lap. And then we got Slenderman, who is about to finish his lap. He's got a 130.268, a bit of a slide coming in the final corner. So I don't think it's going to be an improvement, or it might just be like a few hundredths maybe. 130.150, which puts him in P6. And we got Aston Martin of Iceman, who's going through turn 4. Risky is about to start his final lap. Oh, Risky spun in turn 2 and 3. Lost the car completely, but luckily no damage. And he's hitting the Emirates board for good measure. Kev across the line. It's going to be a 130.1. So that is his only time. Well, he could only improve on that time. What about Newgarden then? He can't improve.
Ben.
He's invalidated. We'll keep an eye on Ben in a second. We've got, I think, Akon is next. No, it's not Akon. It's his teammate of Matter. He hasn't invalidated, so it could be an improvement. And I think it is going to be an improvement. It looks a good lap, actually. It's pole. 129.3, back to his form at the moment. And now his teammate will come across the line. No, he's not. He's going into the pits. And I believe that we got a Haas up across the line as well. Final corner, and then it will be the AlphaTauri of... I don't know which AlphaTauri. It's Kieran afterwards. So here's Mike.
Heat from Ben.
And Ben coming across the line. Kieran as well. Is it going to be pole? No, he lost time in the final set to 129.8. Kieran got 130.1. So it is Matter, our reigning champion. Hasn't had a really good season. This is more like it, son. He's on pole position.
Matter is back.
He is.
But I was looking on Flexi. It showed him as purple, but he made a mistake at that off-camber left-hander. And where the curve is like really high. I can't remember the specific corner number. The second to last corner, that one, where the curve is really high, and it's awful.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure Matt's going to be very happy with that, and probably him joining another league as well, which we both know what league it is, has probably helped him find his feet a little bit more in league racing, because sometimes you do just one league, there's nothing to build up on and nothing to improve on. That's why doing, I think, 2 leagues, I think, is alright. No more than 3, because if you do more than 3 leagues, I don't know how people cope, but I think most of us in this lobby, including us in the commentary box, I think do 2 or 3 leagues. That's all we're waiting for. I think we're just waiting for Risky to retire from the session, and then we can go through your results. So Mata is on pole by 5 1/100 of a second over Casper. So Mata stole the Alfa Romeo 1-2 there. So great job from him. Now we got Casper, the debutant, in 2nd place. Carl in 3rd. Pete in 4th. Iceman in 5th. Flexi in 6th. Kieran in 7th. Slenderman in 8th. Kevin 9th. Risky in 10th. If it's a dry session, which is more likely it's going to be, they're going to start on a soft. The 3 choice of tyres are Ahmed, Mike, Deck, Ryan Berry, Newgarden, Tony, and Maverick. Just 17 drivers that are having the presence of us tonight. And don't forget, before we start the session, to check out our sponsor, Rogue Energy. You can get their products by going onto their website, rogueenergy.com, and you can use the code VSL F1 for 10% off. You can get a spooky bundle from them at the moment, and I had a look at their tweet about that. That looks really cool, and you can use our discount code to get that if you want to. So VSL F1 for 10% off. Rogue Energy is our sponsor. Thank you to them. Without them, the league wouldn't be as obviously good as it is. Obviously, you can also follow us on Twitter at VSL_F1, where you can keep up to date with all our announcements, standings, results, whatever, and find out when our streams will be live. And also, follow us on Twitter as well. I'm at JessGames95. Red Matt, hit us with your socials.
Oh, mine at is speed_redmat.
There we go. So follow us. That'll be great. That'll be amazing. And also subscribe to the channel as well. I need to actually check how many subscribers we're on, but subscribe, like this video, and turn notifications on so you know when to check out our streams. We stream every Wednesday at 8 p.m. UK time. We never start on time. We've hardly ever started on time this season and last season. And if we do get a lobby that starts on time, it'll be an absolute miracle. But hopefully next week we could do that. So no likes at the moment, and I'm a bit of a traitor for not liking this video. So I'm going to be doing that right now. So
wow.
What can you expect in terms of the strategy for these drivers today? Because obviously 1 stop, they don't have to do the 2 stop like last season. So is it soft to hard, soft to medium? Do you think?
Well, I reckon we could see a very varying strategy, because I think the 2 stops actually, quicker around here, because the mechanical grip is so much more, like you saw in the real F1 race, just fresher tyres, gave you a lot more edge. But fuel saving, in the previous race here, I won, which I'll put that out there. But yeah, I started it with 1.5 laps of fuel, and with 3 laps to go, I was in negative 0.2, so it was a lot of lift and coasting. Luckily, my competitors had a lot less fuel. So, yeah, I think drivers need to keep an eye on that and hope for a safety car.
Yes, I think you weren't the only driver when we raced in another league in France that struggled with fuel, because I struggled with fuel around France as well. And I had to do a bit of lifting and coasting as well. So that is something to watch out for. There is a known factor of safety cars, but you can't really gamble on safety cars. So you've got to fuel as if you're doing a full race, but I know some people would take the gamble anyway. If you could save fuel and lift and coast in some corners, maybe after you go into the pits, fair enough. But if you're not a good fuel saver, just put either a lap or 2 extra fuel, or maybe just about on the how many laps. I think there's 27 laps. Yes, it is 27 laps of fuel. You should be fine with that. Sometimes I usually forget to change my fuel and leave it alone, and sometimes it does me good, or sometimes if I spin, it just comes back to bite me. But that is something that I think we need to watch out for the drivers. So before we start, we'll take a quick look at the track map. So it is 5.842 kilometers long. It has 15 turns, 6 to the left, 9 to the right. It is a clockwise circuit. And we have quite a few DRS zones, one towards the start-finish straight and one between turn 7 and 8. And we are about to get underway with the formation lap, and we will check the tyres from outside the top 10. Let me just get the telemetry up before I change the scene. And we got quite a mix of strategy. 3 people on the mediums and 4 drivers on the hards. So on the mediums, we've got Ahmed, Mike and Newgard. And on the hards, we've got Akon, Ryan Berry, Tony and Maverick. Everybody else, obviously, since they qualified on the softs, have to start on the soft compounder tyres. So there we go. What do you make of that?
Well, it looks like a very mixed strategy. Some are doing the one-stop, some are doing the two-stop. Yeah, it's a hard tyre to start off with. I don't think it would be a good tyre to start the race on, really. Unless it's like a safety car to keep you within touch of the pack. But, yeah, the thing is that the soft tyre can easily wear away within the 4 laps and then the mediums start coming in. So, I don't know. I generally don't know.
I literally don't know as well, because I always known to have done a two-stop strategy, because obviously all the leagues I've done France in, it's been two-stop. I've never experienced a one-stop around here in the dry, because the one-stop race I commentated on in France, it was dry to wet, I believe, or wet to dry, so I wouldn't have known what the one-stop strategy is around here. So I think we're all in the unknowns, and even with the handling, a bit of a handling change to this update, things could change there as well, if they fix a little bit of the curbs as well, so that could be interesting. And it's not just the Turkish Red Bull livery that's making its debut here tonight. There's a few changes to, I think, all the team's liveries. A few sponsor additions on the AlphaTauri and McLaren. Same with the Williams as well. I think every single team has had sponsor changes, as we had a few spinners as we're about to start the race. I'm not going to get my predictions in, because usually if I get predictions in, as I found out in One Hub last week when I was commentating, they binned it. So I'm not going to say anything more. So we got Mata on pole, a sight that we didn't think we'd see coming this soon. Casper alongside him, but his teammate is right behind Mata, so we got Mata in a Alfa Romeo sandwich. 17 drivers, 27 laps await our drivers here at Paul Ricard. A nice sunny day here, and here we go then. The 5 red lights are coming on. And we are underway. Let's see what the start is like. Good start from Mata, actually, as they head towards turn 1. But also good start from Casper. A beautiful run coming up here. And I think he comes him off. Yes, he does. The 2 Alfa Romeos working really well. Mata's dropped down to 3rd. He got a good getaway, but Casper got even better getaway. So that's what's helped the Alfa Romeos and not help Mata a little bit. Iceman is up into 4th place. We've got Mike having a good battle with Kev. He's up to 9th as well. Pete up into 7th. And it looks like everyone got away cleanly as they head towards turn 6 and turn 7. We might have had a few spinners in the background, but they seem to be back on their feet a little bit as well. Ooh, as Akon's used a bit of track limits there. And that's probably a warning there, because he didn't slow down enough. But we got Kev trying to go for a move on, might be backed out. Same with Deck as well. But decent start from the Alfa Romeo boys, P1 and P2.
Fantastic start. I bet Mata's wondering what on earth happened to his start. Just looks like he just didn't have the grip. But Risky losing connection on them soft tyres, rejoining. He's got a lot of work to do now. So, yeah, let's hope everyone's kept in mind of fuel, especially Risky, so he can push to get himself up the pack and help Aston Martin in the Constructors.
Yes, because even though Aston Martin are currently 6th at the moment, but I think most of the points have been scored by Iceman, even though Risky has scored some points this season. Risky would want to score some more points to help Aston Martin get into the top 5. We're now heading towards lap 2. Now this is the point where we hope the lap counter doesn't break in this game, or the deltas do not change about.
Fingers crossed, you'll play the second one.
Iceman spun. I literally talked about great things on Iceman a moment ago, and he spun, and he's down into 16th place. The Aston Martins are falling by the wayside. What a shame for him. And here goes Maverick up the inside, up to 16th. That was quite a close call. And we got Kyle, who's got some brilliant straight line speed. Is he going to get past Casper? He's using quite a lot of VRS though, so I wonder if Casper's got less. So Casper has been pushing a lot to keep his race lead. And it's a bit of a worry that you can't save too much around this track. So it may be that Kyle is using it to his advantage as they head towards turn 10. And it looks like they're fine, but some inter-team rivalry happening here. I wonder if Mata could fight back, maybe Flexi as well, but Flexi's out of DRS. Really good. We got Kieran as well on the back of Flexi, and another reserve driver for tonight in the AlphaTauri as they head towards turn 12. So apart from a few spinners, things seems to be okay. I'm not going to say too much about the deltas, but it looks like we're getting away with the first 3 laps with no lap counter glitches or no delta glitches. So has actually Codemasters fixed something for a change?
Wow. Well, I'm just going back to like deltas and time with the DRS. I'm pretty sure it's like when you're in the DRS, it's 7/10 gain on your lap time, I believe. So now Sam has broken away. Well, Matt has broken away from Flexi from the DRS. The Alfa Romeo drivers should have really worked a bit better together to try and get away from Mata, because now they have to think about him behind, and he's not exactly far away, so they've got a bit of work to do here. Does Casper let Kyle by, or does he battle for the win?
And the double stacking as well is going to be a huge issue, a feature which I think should happen in the game. And there we go, Casper takes the race lead there as well. So let's see if he can... Actually, no, Casper did not take the race lead. Carl took it back.
Casper's got the fuel light on already.
He has got the fuel light already, and he's not saving his fuel. VSC, Matt has left the session, and we had a spinner, which is... Oh, Maverick's out the race. That's probably why. That's why we got VSC. So... Mata has disconnected, so that's probably going to allow...
He can't rejoin.
I don't think he can rejoin because he was the lobby host, I believe. So if anyone disconnects, no one can rejoin now, which is not ideal. A glitch which...
it's unusual for Mata. The internet's usually quite good.
Yeah, it is usually quite good, but hopefully the new host is alright. I'll see if I can get him an invite, actually. But we got someone that's took advantage of the VSC, which is Pete. Now, he's staying out for quite a long time, so it could work in his favour, especially if we are predicting the 2-stop, as he goes... Oh, the pit crew is not ready. Or did he serve a 5-second? That was a very long pit stop. But there is a safe VSC that's just ended. And Casper leads Mata by 1.6 seconds. Carla's also boxed as well.
The New Garden spun out.
New Garden has spun it, yes. And almost hit Kyle. So there we go. So
this is crucial for Alfa Romeo, so there won't be a double stacking now.
And it does look like Matt's internet died, because otherwise he would have responded to our chat quite quickly. So yeah, hopefully he can get his internet back, so fingers crossed. We'll try and give him an invite, but if he can't, then that'll be annoying. So that leaves Casper, Kieran, Flexi, Slenderman, and the Matterbot, the only ones of the top 5 still yet to pit, and as well as we got Iceman and Risky, who have had nightmares of the races and would want something to change that, either a safety car or someone having a nightmare race compared to them. But there's still early days. We're on lap 4. New Garden having much better pace into turn 10 and gets past Risky.
I'm trying to understand. So Mata is DC'd, is he?
It might be the same glitch that Gaza got at One Hub, where in the stream it said he disconnected. but on his end, he's been racing.
Okay.
That is something I think the stewards have got to look into. Let's see if I can actually no, I won't invite him because I'm streaming, but that is very weird. He actually is streaming as well, so he's able to prove that he's actually racing. But I'm gutted that they haven't fixed that glitch as Tony gets past Matter. It looks like he's driving slowly, so is it desync? I don't know. It's really hard to tell, but anyway, Kieran and Flexi going side by side into turn 8. Looks like Flexi is able to put the power down just a little bit more, and he keeps his line, and he's up into P2, but what about Kieran? Still going side by side into turn 10. I wonder if Kieran has got a lot more ERS to play with as they head towards turn 11 very, very shortly. I thought one of them would back out there, but they're still going for it. It is a hard section of the track to overtake, but they are showing that they can overtake here as well. What about turn 12? Kieran just pulling away there, but Flex is just going to wait for this opportunity into turn 1.
I'm not looking like the sound. What's happening in the lobby at the moment? Personally, if it was a restart, it'll be a bit late, really. We'll be on to like, 10 p.m? I think now that'll be getting a bit late now. But I thought they fixed this issue with the game.
Yeah, I don't think everybody else is having the same problem, though. Everybody else has been fine. Obviously, apart from Risky's disconnection. And it's unfair just to restart on one driver. If it was like 3 or 4 drivers that had the same issue, then yeah, fair enough. But if it's only just one driver, then unfortunately there's not much we could do. As there's, we have a spinner again. Mike, who's spun in turn, I can't remember what turn it is, but he's probably got damage because of that.
Don't say last time I tried to invite somebody, it crashed my game.
I'll try and invite because there's not much action happening at the moment.
Do, leave it.
Yeah, because I'm scared I'm going to leave as well.
So yeah, unfortunately, I try and invite. It says error occurred, but yeah, we're on lap 6 of 27 already, and it's approaching 9 p.m. in the UK. But it's just really unfortunate because this could be one of the reasons why Matter loses out in the championship as Casper Pitts. As we go on to lap number 6, we have Kai now taking the race win, and then you got Deck behind, who is on the hard tyre. So are the hard and medium tyres now starting to come back into the game? It looks like it, because the soft tyres, I think, are dropping off now, looking on board of Kai.
1.2 seconds slower are the medium compounded tyres, but the softs only last 8 laps compared to the mediums that last 14, the hards last 18. So the window of the mediums being a quicker tyre was probably a couple of laps ago, which prompted a lot of early pit stops. The VSC did definitely help with that. And Flexi does get past Newgarden, and he's up into 9th. So, that was close from Newgarden and Pete there into turn 6. And adding into a long left and right hander of turn 7. Pete then is going to find some grip to try and close up to his teammate. Not many people within DRS range, and obviously Kyle pitting helps him get ahead of his teammate by quite a bit actually. 6 seconds. I swear they were like a second behind each other, so I think the undercurves definitely worked. But I do believe they will have to pit one more time. Now, due to the fact the host, I think it was Newgarden that was the host, and then he left and then rejoined again. It's kind of broke the lobby. So we're trying the best. I think as soon as the host leaves the lobby, no one else can rejoin now, which is something I think I've read at one of the patch notes, which is, I don't think it should be right. I don't get it, but that's just Codemasters for you. But hopefully we still have some action. And yes, I do see the error that Matt is getting whilst trying to invite Matt and Risky. Well, Matcha and Risky. And Kieran just picked up his 3-second time penalty.
Oh dear. Oh, my PlayStation froze for a couple of minutes and it scared me.
Yeah, because we didn't want to have the same situation to what we had. What was it? Canada?
It was Canada, yeah.
And I think Tony could go for a move on Ahmed. So I wonder if Tony's hard tyres are in good condition compared to the mediums. And we also got Kyle's fresh mediums going into fruition here as he passes Ryan Berry into turn 8. And we'll keep an eye on Kieran actually, because he's leaving it ever so long. And I'm just looking at the pit lane loss around there. It's around 22.5 seconds. And if you lose out too much, and if you stay out for a bit longer, the deficit is just going to be too much. And Ahmed just got a time penalty as well. Gap's a leader. So between Kieran and Kyle, 7.3 seconds. So
it's going to be really tight for the one stoppers, really. It's really, I'm just looking at fuel loads. How's Casper doing? He's managed to gain some of it back, so it looks like he has been lifting and coasting.
I think that's quite a lot of people that have been lifting and coasting, unfortunately. I think I'm just seeing who is on the yellow warning at the moment in terms of fuel. I think everyone's within the window now. No one's in the red or the yellow now. So, but they could be pushing, especially Kieran and likes of Akon, Tony, Ahmed as well, once they box for their first stop. I'm almost certain that I wonder if Kieran is trying to make the one stop work. Same with Akon and Tony. Ahmed will probably want to do the 2-stop. Ryan Berry, I'm not so sure. So that's what we said earlier. Mixed of strategies could come into effect, and the top 12 could score points. And we're having some issues again, apparently.
Great. Blue screen.
And Red Matt has unfortunately been kicked from the lobby again for the second week in a row.
I sacrificed myself for you, Matter and Risky. I tried. Ah, dearie me.
I will have to do exactly the same to what I did 2 weeks ago.
The show goes on.
Yeah, because luckily I didn't invite, because otherwise I would have crashed, and that wouldn't have been good. So I need to actually remember how to share my screen, and I need to make this full screen as well, which is not ideal. As whilst this is happening, Carla's got past Ahmed up into P5, and we have the two McLarens fighting for P8 and P9. Flexi just gets past P. So I'll try and put it at 60. See if it works. Apologies about the technical issues. You're not seeing it on my end, but unfortunately the lobby's been having some issues tonight. Hopefully it does get fixed, ready for next week. Or it might just be an issue of, because I think I know a group usually gets created for the sessions. Maybe it's an issue with that. I don't know, because it's always an issue when if you click invite to game via a group and not individually. I think that's usually where the problems lie, unfortunately. But I don't know how Kieran is holding on with those. I'll make it full screen now so Matt could see. I forgot about that. I don't know why Kieran is staying out, but he's probably going to the pits now as both Akon and Tony, I believe, get past. Tony's been held up. As Kieran finally goes into the pits. I wonder if it's going to be hard tyres for the AlphaTauri driver.
I'm curious, because now you've got Deck now. But oh, look at the lead. Deck and Terry look like they're quite close on the track, looking at the Delta.
And Carl as well, so it's a bit of a sandwich, as he almost went into the middle of them all. Carl almost made contact there into turn 5. And they're getting a bit slidey with a bit of oversteer in some parts of the track. And we also got Ahmed as well. Oh, Carl spun! Carl spun, he made contact with Ahmed as well. Oh, that's huge. That's huge. But I don't think there's much front wing damage for Kyle, but for Ahmed it's a different story, I think. And are we going to get a safety car? No, we haven't got a safety car. And that's probably helped Casper in so many ways. This is not Crashgate, I promise. And Flexi gets past Pete once again, up into P5 of this race. And we got a battle for the lead once again. There's just so many battles happening everywhere at the moment. And Tony is in the race lead. Casper gets past Ryan Berry. Hopefully Casper does not end up in the same situation as to what we saw Kyle faced with earlier on. I'm sure Casper may be a bit smarter, but only one way to find out. We're not even halfway into this race yet.
Yeah, I was just going to mention before Kyle did do what he did, it's quite easy to drop it on the back straight because you're trying to put the power down as early as possible to try and get a good run on that back straight, and yeah, that's unfortunately happened. So I'm sorry, Kyle. I think I may have. I think
we both jinxed Kyle there. So Kyle, we're sorry. We got another pitter, and I believe that is Ahmed.
He got damage from crashing into Kyle.
He had huge front wing damage. I can already see it when he spun. So he's going on to the hards. But one positive though, he could take those hards to the end.
Ahmed,
yeah, he could take those tires to the end quite comfortably. So it should be an easy one stop for the Mercedes driver. And we're going to ignore Risky as he can't join back into the session. So your net race leader is Casper. Then it is Pete now as he gets past Sam. It's like a switch, keeps like having a switcheroo in these last couple of laps. First 1 minute is Pete that takes the net P2 spot, and next is Flexi. This could work wonders for the constructors with Mata out of the picture with no fault of his own. Not gonna lie. He's probably still racing on his end, but on our end it's not. But in our end, Pete is a net P2.
I'm gonna watch Kyle's stream. Someone has joined our Discord. It is Mata.
Ooh.
It's driver Mata, which is a very unfortunate DNF for him. So it's up to him if he wants to vent.
The same person. Anyway, Lexi gets past Pete once again. I wonder if Pete is going to get the move into turn 8 later on, but I think he's going to stand back a little bit as well. And look at this as well. We've got Kyle in this battle as well. So he's back in this on the same strategy. Sam having the benefit of the fresher tyres. But Pete doesn't have much ERS, neither does Flexi. So here comes Pete up into P5 now. And Flexi's down into P6. Meanwhile, we got a battle for the lead between Tony, Akon, and Casper now. Casper, you got to be careful. It's going to be free abreast. Someone's got to back out, surely.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh! Casper's spun, so we had one Alfa Romeo driver, Carl, spinning earlier. And then we got Casper falling victim once again. This time return 11. That is a shame.
Yeah, he's going to have to take it easy now. Those tyres will be cooked.
Good evening.
And we've got the two McLarens. And we've got Mata in the commentary box there. Mata, tell us what happened.
Nothing wrong my end. I think I weren't kicked from the lobby. I was just driving. So
yeah, it was a very weird glitch, actually.
So
it's a very weird glitch, which is odd.
Mm. But yeah, no, it looks an exciting race anyway.
Oh, has Casper almost gone off again? And what's happened to one of the other McLaren? Casper almost gone off as well. Everyone's being swamped at the moment. Casper had no option but to just ease off a little bit. As here comes Casper up into 6th, Flexi down to 7th, and Pete's just like, you know what? I'll keep fighting on while you guys keep battling behind me. That's absolutely fine. and he's going to get DRS from, well, he was going to get DRS from Risky, but he's not close enough, as the bot of Risky is a lap down, and looks like the two alphas are back in this, despite the spins, Matt.
Oh, right, for sure. But just like, one of the weaknesses of Pete is managing his ERS. It's like, I've noticed it in many races, so he needs to sort of start managing it a bit more, because I find when you deplete your ERS a lot, it's really hard to get it back. But can I just say, the drive from the hard tyre runners at the moment, they're having quite a strong race so far, and Deck, touching wood, hasn't got a penalty yet, so he might be on for a good result here.
And speaking of Deck, he's in the pits.
Never mind. I'm just going to shut up, right? I said, careful the throttle on the back straight, Cal spins it.
And I said Casper was doing well and he spun it, so...
Well, I've mentioned Pete about his ERS, so you know what's going to happen next.
Oh god, no. we should stop with the jinxes. I think we did the same in Canada as well. As Casper took an interesting line there into turn 4 and 5. And he's lost a bit of time to Pete. Don't forget, Casper's got a time penalty. Pete does not. So, at the moment...
Casper on the fresher tyres, though.
Casper on the fresher tyres, but at the moment, Pete is your net race leader.
Oh, he doesn't have a penalty to remove either.
That is quite remarkable. But there's Pete.
Yes.
Technically, he's not the net race leader, because I don't think there's means going to make it to the end. If it was based on tyres that can make it to the end, Deck will be your net race leader.
Yeah, but I think based on like tyre life, Casper may be able to nurse some mediums to the end of the race. Pete, if he's been pushing that hard, yeah, he may have to go for a soft tyre and hope for a VSC or a safety car. I mean, if there was a safety car within the next, 4 or 5 laps, that would be an interesting end to the race. What's been quite a thrilling French Grand Prix so far.
Tony's into the pit lane, so is Pete. So he's doing his second stop as Casper stays out. So Pete always likes the undercut, and he's going for it. Same with Tony as well. So this could work. This could play really well into Tony's hands, actually, as Tony will come out ahead of Pete. Slenderman is also into the pits. He's also going onto the medium tyres. Newgarden is on the softs, and he's being chased by Kev. As Newgarden goes into the pits, I wonder if it's for another set of the mediums, which it will be. There's no way those softs could get it to the end of the race.
Unless getting close to Kyle?
I think he is, actually. He could be. He's got a ghost in front, which will help with the slipstream. Actually, no, it's not the ghost, it's Kyle. I thought it was the ghost for a minute there. But it's not. Kyle and Casper. Kyle and Casper is like the cat of 9 lives. They spin, and they're still like in second and third. So it shows that they're probably, without those spins, they would have been miles ahead of everybody else, I reckon. So this will help. I think this will help them get ahead of so many teams in the constructors, because reserves do score points for them in the constructors as Kyle goes a bit wide in turn 12. That's given Flexi a bit more time. Tony on the back of Deck.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. He's on, I think Tony's on 1 lap fresher tyres than Deck, but I'm curious to see how this ends now, because if everyone else has to pit twice, Deck, is he the current lead car?
Yeah, that's what I said earlier on.
Yeah, but I sort of forgot about Kieran, actually, because he's on the 6th lap.
Kieran could... let me just check the tyres, where tyre data that I've written on my notes. Let me have a quick look as my tablet almost froze on me. Go away, tablet. 14 laps. 14, 15 laps, but I think you could push it to 16.
Risky.
Risky, but he could do it. I'm almost certain Casper and Iceman will have to pit again. Kieran, he could stay out. But technically, Tony's your net race leader now. Unless Kieran Or it could be Dex, obviously penalties, as he's already having the better speed on Tony. Huh? What?
Tony's got by, Deck.
I don't know. I was not paying attention, but I think he did. Probably turn 1. But I think we got so distracted about the glitches that have happened so far already this race. But we've had worse glitches. We've had worse glitches, so...
We've had an epileptic glitch before.
Yeah. I don't think... Were you there? I don't think you were there.
I wasn't there, no.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't. I shared it to you on Twitter, and you were quite shocked.
Yeah.
It distracted me quite a bit, and I was just like, what the hell? And I did report it, and I haven't had it since. So, Casper's in for his final stop. So he's on to the mediums then, which we'll get to the end. Tony will come out ahead of him. I have to say, I'm just looking at positions gained as Pete sets the fastest lap, as someone's binned it. I'm not sure who.
Series of Ahmed, I think.
Probably. So Tony's gained 13, Kieran up 5, Iceman up 4, but Iceman's still yet to do his final stop. Ryan Berry up 8, Newgarden up 1. Everybody else is down at least 1 position as Mike goes into the pit lane for the mediums, I believe. And he's been on those hards for 13 laps already. Because don't forget, he did have damage, and I believe he's having his 5-second stop go. Yes, he is. Softs. You sure about that, Mike? Because we already seen Kieran's soft tyres drop quite earlier on. As Ryan Berry, Carl and Pete having a bit of a fight. It's going to be free abreast once again. We know how it turned out earlier with one of the Alfa Romeos. We don't want to see exactly the same here. As Ryan Berry's doing a fabulous job, but Carl has the better grip. Up into 6th, Casper up into 7th. Ryan Berry just not having the pace on the 2 Alfa Romeos, but clean fight from all 3 of them. And look at this, Sam, also known as Flexi, ready to pounce too. Oh, that was late on the brakes. Very late on the brakes. That could have been disaster. That could have been curtains as they head towards the final corner. And that is how you go racing at Paul Ricard. You can go 3 abreast with someone backing out. Flex just doesn't have the ERS just to compete with Ryan Berry at the moment. Ryan Berry just about has more. Casper has 14, Carl has 11. Yellow flag again. That is Amen, I believe. As Risky's bot goes into the pits for, I believe it will be soft tyres. And that is it for pit stop so far. Flex, Iceman is still braving it out on those mediums for 12 laps. And Kieran is catching, so...
Yeah, I don't think Ben will be out for much longer. I think he's sort of hoping for a safety car, in all honesty.
We only had 1 safety car, well, VSC, which we thought was going to be a safety car, but it just stayed as a VSC, so fair play.
What is it with VSL and no safety cars? Every other league, like we had one in the league, there was 3 safety cars. But in another league, there was like 2. VSL is a monumental pile-up. Safety car is unincreased. No safety car.
That is weird. As we got a battle between Sam and Ryan Berry into turn number 12. Flexi has got the move done up into P8. And by the way, just to point out, I know F1 Esports is happening tonight, right? And there's still like 5 of you watching the stream. So thank you guys for turning up and watching. Despite F1 Esports going on, you probably have 2 streams on in the background, which you do, fair play to them. But thank you for supporting the stream anyway, for those of you that are watching it live. And for those of you that didn't watch it live, where have you been? You're missing out. But, you know, hopefully you'll join us live next week, every Wednesday, 8 PM. I do believe we're at Austria next week, which always has a good race. I think that's where we were for the pre-season, in Austria. So a familiar track to all the drivers, but we'll talk a little bit about that at the end of the race. Peter's finally found some speed on deck, but not much ERS, so I don't think he's going to get the move done this time around. He's not giving up though, so it could be a 3-way fight again, but this time between Tony, Deck and Pete.
Yes. Just say, for French Grand Prix, you always hear people say, oh, I hate this track, I hate this track.
I like it on this game, I really do.
I love it. Like the action, like again, that's proven in real F1. It's been good. It's been great. When tyre, management has to come into it. Someone doing one stop, someone doing two. It brings great racing, and this is exactly what the fans want. I hope. And there's another race like this at France, because when it's a one stop, I must admit it's a bit boring, but I'm looking forward back here, to be honest with you.
I think most people have done 2 stops. I will get the stops there at the moment. So Iceman's done 1, Kieran has done 1, Tony and Acorn have done 1. Same with Ryan Berry and Ahmed. Everyone else has done 2. It's just great to see a mixture of people doing the 1 stop, people doing the 2 stop. It's just showing which is the faster strategy. And we do have a yellow flag. That is probably Risky's AI moving out the way of some lapped cars. And we've got Deck, who's chasing down for, I think it will be, let's just see how many penalties Tony's got. It will be a net P3 on the road. As, let's see, well, he's technically P3 already due to penalties. But, wow, Pete, where did that come from when he just slid? That would have been a great move until Pete ruined it. Too early on the power, I think, Pete. But that almost was a really good move. That was almost move of the stream. But he binned it.
For goodness sake. It's like, what was it I said? I mentioned him back low on ERS. I'm going to jinx him that, yeah.
He's on like 10% now. He's probably going to be kicking himself after that. He was like, oh, Tony spun. What is happening with the spinners at the moment? They just keep spinning, losing traction. So he's down into 9th. He's still going to get points at the moment because top 12 do score points. Iceman is still... I wonder if Iceman is either waiting until there's a safety car or waiting until like lap 24 to pit for the softs and go for fastest lap, which is a brave call. Kieran will make it, just. Casper's got penalties. I literally can't call who's going to win. It's going to be down to who can get their tyres a good knit and who could avoid some spins now. Because quite a lot of... I think almost every single driver has spun today. Almost every single driver. I think Kieran has been doing all right. I have to say, solid race from him. But, touch wood, I said that to Kieran in a Jacket car race in Japan and he binned it. So, not going to say anything more, Kieran. And if he bins it, it's probably going to be my fault again.
Unbelievable. But surely Ben's tyres will be in punctured territory now. He has to pit. But going off and using terms of connection issues, I'm reading currently online that the PlayStation servers are having issues. So I'm touching more right now.
Is that why we've been having lobby issues tonight?
Apparently so.
That kind of explains it then. I thought it was due to F1 esports. But obviously not. And I won't be... And there probably were some races that didn't get started. And we persevered. We were like, you know what? It was like 20 past 8 and we were still trying to get people into the lobby. There was probably some leagues that just be like, oh, screw it, we won't do a lobby anymore. So we are the league that does not give up. There we go. As Flexi, go on, son. He's actually going to try and get past Carl, which he does into turn 1. This could be a good fight for P4, and it could be for a net P3 due to penalties, or even a net P2, you never know. So, position still to be gained. Everyone's low on ERS, but I'm looking at Carl's fuel. He's on the yellow. That is danger.
I'm coasting now, but this is good for the championship. He's got no Panos today, but with, as well as Mata, with that unfortunate game issue he had, Sam, if he can keep going, will be having a nice gap opening up now in the championship. But Kyle, knowingly as well, he's not too far from contention as well. So yeah, it's really flipped the table up a bit here.
Yeah, because I think Kyle was challenging for the championship last season. And I think for Kyle, he's had races where he showed some promise, but there's been a majority of races where he hasn't. But he's finding his feet a bit more, I think. I remember he did well in Monaco. Monaco was his strong race. Well, he tends to do well in Monaco in every VSL season we go to. really, to be honest. But he's definitely improving. And I think, obviously, ERT has definitely helped him with his driver development. And it is showing, to be fair. So, it is a strong knit team. But look at Jack. He's playing the backseat of this. Jack is the chance for a podium is not over for Jack right now. And with Pete's spin, unfortunately, earlier on, that has definitely brought him out of contention, sadly. So,
yeah, I'm just riding on board with Kyle because I'm looking at his stream at the moment. I'm a bit behind, but does he know he's out of fuel? He doesn't have the information on his screen because he drives in cockpit cam, so I don't know if he knows.
I don't think he knows either. So I wonder if there's someone in the chat that could tell him that, look, you are dangerously in the drop zone, because I do not imagine if he's in podium contention and he just runs out of fuel on the final few corners. That will just be an absolute nightmare. So, well, at least it's not the game that's causing lobby issues today. It's the PlayStation server. So we're not going to blame Cody's this time. So Cody's, you're actually done something right for once. It's not your fault. It's Sony's fault. Sony, I'm disappointed with you, mate. Cody's, you done something right with the update for once, because the timing tower is a lot better. But anyway, lap 24-27, Iceman. Honestly, Iceman's still putting consistent pace, but I would want to see his tyre life. But we only got 3 more laps to go. If he can hold on, he's got no penalties. He's technically got a 6-second buffer now, because obviously Kieran and Casper got 3-second penalties. He could still be on for this race when he's still hovering over the 2-second gap. And he's going to get DRS from his... he's not going to get DRS because he's past his the bot of Risky. But there we go. So even if Risky's online, the lobby kind of helped him by getting DRS. He's lost a bit of time though to Kieran. So I wonder the tyres are dropping off. And I think even with Kieran being in P2, even if he fights Iceman for the win, even with that penalty, I don't think that's going to affect him too much, with everyone else being a little bit further behind. Because between Casper and Kieran is 3.2. And what is the gap to leader? Let me have a look. So between Iceman and Flexi is about 6.9. And between Kieran and Flexi is around about 4.8. I think, if I've done my maths correctly. I might have done my maths completely wrong there. But 2.5 laps to go. Still plenty of action that can happen. Kieran is now going to be within DRS of Iceman, so I think Iceman would have probably lost his race victory. He's just losing so much grip. And I don't know what's happened to Dak. He's on the back. There's a huge DRS train between Casper. Well, I think, no, not Casper. It actually could be Casper. No, it's not Casper. Flexi, Kyle, Deck and Pete. For somehow, Pete is back in this. So I wonder if Deck's made a mistake, or I wonder if Pete is just being a knight in shining armour and he's just lightning quick.
Fingers crossed now Ben doesn't get a puncture, because surely his tyres must be screaming now. 19 laps on the medium compound tyre. Unbelievable. This Aston Martin.
Oh, he's slowing down though. He's slowing down a bit.
He's low on the ERS, isn't he?
Yeah, he is low on the OS. He's on 10%. Kieran's on the same. Casper's on the same. Flex is on the same. Carl's on the same. Deck's on the same. So is Pete. So is Ryan Berry. Tony's got a bit more, but roughly the same. Everyone's between around the same, apart from Slenderman, who is probably disconnected, I think, or he might just be lapped. I don't know. But he's on like 86% ERS. But to be fair, there's some races where I forget to use ERS, but I'm getting better at using my ERS now. That's because I do more races on this game. But we're about to approach the final lap of VSL Season 7. We've had server issues tonight with Sony, but that hasn't stopped us from providing some great action. So here comes Mr. Kieran. This could be the move for the race win, surely. Oh, look at this! Casper Casper with the send of dreams into turn 1. This could be moving with a stream here. Casper, at the moment, is your race leader. But if Iceman can hold on to Casper and Kieran, the race victory could still be his. But Casper's grip and fresher tyres may save him here. He's got to get in within 3 seconds of Iceman, which I think he could still do, but he's running out of fuel. I think everyone's running out of fuel, to be honest. I think they're all danger. Kieran just got past Iceman as well. So unfortunately, I think the race victory is gone from Iceman's hands. But this could be a slam dog fight between Casper and Kieran. Casper, without those spins, he could have been dominant. Flexi with a penalty now. Flexi with a penalty. Iceman with a 10-second penalty. So that's Iceman's victory over. What about Kyle? Could he get a podium? So still plenty of action and still plenty of questions unanswered. But even with Casper's penalty, that hasn't changed the fact that Casper has driven. And mate, don't forget this is his debut race here at VSL, and this definitely won't be the last race that he takes part in.
It's been going very slow. I think his his tyres are done. I think
Anyway, Casper comes across the line. He wins in VSL. Kieran, on 17 lap on mediums, just makes him P2. Flexi just about gets P3, but his teammate, because he got no penalties, gets the podium. Carl in 4th, Jet 5th, Flexi 6th, Ryan Berry 7th, and I believe Iceman did get a puncher. Tony in 9th. And we've got Kev with no penalties as well. Will he jump up or will he stay 10th? He will stay 10th. And then I believe, let me just check penalties. I think the order will stay as it is, as Ahmed and Mike will be your final point scorers. And the fastest lap, with the 2 extra points, will go to Casper. So Casper, unless Mike or Newgarden won't be able to do anything about it. But unless Mike do something about it, Casper will be on for maximum points. So let's follow Mike as he comes across the line. And he's slowing down, he's run out of fuel. Oh, Mike. And Kyle did not run out of fuel on the final lap. So he must have lifted and coasting, which was good for him. But Casper gets maximum points. I think he took pole as... Oh, no, he didn't take pole. Matt took pole. So he almost got the hat-trick. But he got the win, and he got the fastest lap to boot.
Wow. Is he chucking the F1 game at everybody?
That is a new emote that I've seen. I want to get that now. I want to see if that's on Podium Pass.
Yeah, I think that's what Matt is doing at the moment, chucking it away.
I think don't blame the game this time. Blame Sony. Maybe his controller he should have thrown away. But anyway, Casper wins from Kieran from 7th to 2nd. I didn't see who got the driver of the day in game. It was probably Dak, I think. But Pete in 3rd, Carl 4th, Akon 5th, Flexi 6th, Ryan Berry 7th, Iceman 8th, Tony 9th, Kev 10th, Ahmed 11th, Mike, your final point scorers, Slenderman, and I think everyone else disconnected, I believe. So they're all out of the race. Due for majority of them, no fault of their own. Definitely, none of them I think should have disconnected there, but you can blame Sony for not letting these guys join the lobby again. But there we go. That is the French Grand Prix at VSL, and what a strong start from Casper. We thought he lost it after that spin earlier, but he persevered and he took control. Imagine without that spin, he could have been dominant today, but the points are gained at the end of the race, and that's what helped Casper today. And could he hold on to this streak when he races again? We'll see.
Well, I would have said my driver of the day there was decked. He made that one stop work, and he got himself up into P6. That was a solid drive there, and to sort of damage limitation for Williams today, so that was quite important, really, for the constructors. But yeah, what a finish that was.
I'll have to give it to Deck as well. Even though Casper delivered on debut, deck with that alternate strategy worked wonders, so I'll have to give it to him. And some good points for him. Good redemption for Williams after Matt's unfortunate glitch, but there we go. So that has been the French Grand Prix. Before we go, quick plug of our sponsor again, which is Rogue Energy. You can use the code VSL F1 for 10% off. You can get their spooky bundle there and use the code too for that. Their website is rogueenergy.com. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. Turn that red button into a grey button by clicking the subscribe button. Hit that notification bell to find out when we're streaming next, which is every Wednesday at 8 PM. And also like this video as well, that'll be much appreciated. Next week we head to Austria for I don't even know what round number, I think it's round 7. But should be another epic race. Hopefully the Sony servers are fixed for next week. We don't want any more lobby issues. We want Matt in the lobby, please. Both Matts. So please, Sony, just behave next week, please, because otherwise I'm gonna die. But anyway, I've been Jess Games 95. Matt has been Red Matt. We will see you next week for the Austrian Grand Prix. I was about to forget what race it was, but I just said it anyway. Have a good day and goodbye. Lights out, they're very good. It's a good start from both Matt and Carl. Getting the bear exit, and both of them spun simultaneously. Heading into the Camel Straight, still going side by side as well. Side by side into the Curva Grande. Are they going to keep it side by side with Iceman? Yuri going for the dive bomb. Can he make it work? He's gone off a bit. And look at that. Oh, right here, right now. Otherwise, the undercut will not work. It's going to be very, very close. Iceman just gets ahead of Kyle there. Mata comes across the line, and he's your VSL Season 6 champion.